Welcome back, guys, to YCS Sydney 2019. We are about to start round 3 of this event.
So who have we got this time? We have Poe Jiang, the current 2018 Oceanic champion, versus Frank, and I can't pronounce his last name, unfortunately, but he is the 2016 national champion, I believe.
Yes, he is. He won that nationals with Mermail, Atlantean. That one. Yeah.
And different today, he's not playing Mermail, he's actually playing a pendulum strategy. So we have the dice roll here, and Poe sitting in the favoured right-hand side seat, as we've seen so far, still
Oh.
undefeated.
Poe piloting a Sky Striker strategy, which he has loved since its release.
And did he play Sky Striker at Oceanics last year, or I believe it was some sort of Trickster
It
Sky
was
Striker deck?
Yeah, the Trickstar Sky Striker Mech Knight that became popularized soon after.
So we have dice roll here. I think Frank may have won the dice roll, but we shall see. But in Poe's hand, I see Potted Desires, 1 or 2 copies of Ash Blossom. I think I saw a Hornet Drones also. Not a bad opening. But
Ooh.
so we have Frank opening up the Thunder Dragon. So this is something different that the Pendulum decks have started doing recently, where they go Thunder Dragon to add 2 copies of Thunder Dragon, and then when they Pendulum summon, they can then turn that Thunder Dragon into a Colossus. So I think Poe may have knowledge previously, because normally the Ash Blossom would be used on something else, but he's decided to Ash the Thunder Dragon effect right here.
Yep. We do have the names being from last round that will be fixed soon, and while we have Frank continue play, he's activating Pendulum Core, discarding the other Pendulum Core.
So well baited with that Ash, I believe.
Yeah, that Thunder Dragon taking the Ash was a lot more ideal than this Pendulum Core, because you have to actually discard for Pendulum Core, which means if you get Ash, you lost 2 cards to his 1 card.
So works out really well here for Frank. So what 2 cards do you reckon he can add here? Do you go for the Oath Dragon and a high scale, or do you
I think this all just depends on the rest of his
harmonizing?
hands.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't have perfect vision of Frank's hand just then, but he's gone for the harmonizing, which means he must already have a high scale. And he's gone for the Black Fang, so he must already have a low scale.
Yeah, so the Pendulum deck aims to be able to pendulum several monsters and use them to create boards, which has a lot of disruption. Like I can see in his extra deck, Naruto the Moral Leader. You have Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, which can summon Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. You have Abystuella. You have the FA Dawn Dragster, and you have Tornado Dragon. All these cards are very powerful against Sky Striker.
So we see a Pendulum Summon coming down here with the Jackal King. That's the mythical beast at Jackal King, to be precise. So that one, if it gains spell counters when a spell card is activated, it gives you the ability to negate them once per turn and negate a monster effect on your opponent's turn.
And then there's also Harmonizing Magician, which when it's summoned, it will summon a Pendulum Magician from your deck.
In defense mode, I'm pretty sure, and
Which will
gets banished when it leaves the field. So he's gone for the level 3 here. Is that Time Star or Time Gazer Magician? Unfortunately, we still have the names of the previous round, so hopefully we get that sorted shortly. No worries. Also, it's round 3, not round 2. So we actually had 2 feature matches last round, so that was really good. So we see a Synchro or Pendulum play here. Oh, no, he's gone for the Dawn Dragster. That's interesting. So that will allow him to reduce his level to negate a spell card, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it does. Frank not opening as strong of a hand as the deck could potentially open.
And we have Poe starting off with a multi-roll, one of the better cards to open with in this deck, to make it so then they can't respond to your spell cards. And that gives his Jackal King 2 counters, though. So as Poe activating Reinforcement of the Army to search the Ray from his deck. The not opening Engage means he'll have to search for it a different way, so he could possibly access Hiate from his extra deck to send it to the graveyard, as we've seen for a long time with this deck. So the Sky Striker Ace Ray getting added to the hand.
It sees that Poe has another Ash Blossom Joy Spring in his hand.
So next turn, again, could be a bit rough for Frank. So Poe will normal summon the Ray. So Frank does have that Jackal King.
He's using multi-roll.
And can Draxter negate the effects of spell cards. That's very powerful if that's the case.
Maybe that's what Poe wants. Maybe that's the bait. Maybe he does. What does he have?
Maybe he has a second multi-roll.
He has Potted Desires.
That's
wow.
Well played by Poe there. Getting rid of the Dragster effect, so therefore he'll be able to resolve Potted Desires to its full effect and draw 2. So
I wonder what he draws. or what he banishes.
He's definitely hoping he doesn't banish certain cards. A lot of spell cards in that pile, as the deck is majority spell cards.
He did banish another Desires. He banished an Ash Blossom, and
Well, cards he's already used, so
Yeah.
pro plays. Exactly what you want. A
hopefully
lot of cards in hand now for Poe, and we can't tell if he's linking or activating effect, but I assume he's linking, so he doesn't get hit by that Jackal King. Make a Hiate.
Hayate being able to attack directly and send any Sky Striker spell card or Sky Striker card from the deck to the graveyard, which he
Yeah.
can then get back with Kagari.
So full access to the deck here for Poe. Got a lot of cards in hand, so a lot of options, and one of those cards in hand is still the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring.
We still don't know what he banished off his Pot of Desires. That might be impactful. His face seems fine, so I don't think he'd banish too badly.
A lot of potential one-offs you can lose in the Sky Striker deck when you banish, and I think on his deck he will be playing most of them. So we've got the obviously Hornet Drone, Shark Cannon, Jamming Waves, and Afterburners. So all the one-off ones that you want to search in situations. You may not have access to all of them anymore. Also the Eagle Booster, which keeps your monsters on the board. So we're seeing a Hiate hit here for
1500 direct.
and potentially activating effect. I'm not sure if Frank will decide to negate it, because unfortunately, with negating and destroying the Jackal King, he'll then be able to trigger the Ray effect to bring it back to the field anyway.
He
So-
does send the engage.
so-
He's setting up for a Kagari play. Maybe as a way to bait the Jackal King.
Or maybe he's just going to force it and then bring Ray back, make Shizuku, and then mate for next turn because he still has that Ash Blossom.
Yeah,
Could
there
have
are.
also drawn into a Widow Anchor. We're not sure yet on that front.
Yes, there
Yeah.
are many lines in this matchup.
He looks very comfortable with the way he is, though. He's got 3 cards in hand, 1 set.
He's thinking very hard. I like that we can get facial reaction. Those are really big. He's jamming waves his own card to be able to destroy a monster. That's how he's going to get rid of.
So that's how he clears the Jackal King. So Frank's just having a quick read of the Jamming Waves to make sure everything's all on the good. And unfortunately for Frank, that means the Jackal King will be sent to the extra deck zone face up.
And Poe
they
will be
shake
free
those
to
up.
make the Kagari.
So Many Spells and Graves means this engage is going to get full value.
Yeah.
He's going to get an add and a draw. So you'd think he just adds Widow Anchor here?
Yeah.
Or would he go for the Afterburner if it's still in his deck to clear 2 more cards?
He does get a draw, so that will impact the game greatly. It was good to see that Poe jamming waved his own cards, strategy that you might not see directly, like straight away. But Poe being very competent with this deck.
Played it for a very long time,
Yeah.
as we can all tell.
In regards to your question, yeah, I think setting up Widow Anchors would be what Poe wants to do. He wants to be able to protect himself to not just lose to influx of 5 monsters getting Pendulum Summoned the following turn.
My only concern would be that if he sets the Widow Anchor and doesn't have more than 1 interruption, the Dragster can then negate it in his turn. So potentially making a Afterburner play here could be good to clear a scale and a monster. So it leaves Frank with literally no cards in hand, 1 Pendulum Scale. But he could have also potentially banished it off Desires. So
Looking at Frank's list, he has his own Pot of Desires to be able to draw 2 cards and dig deeper into his strategy.
Poe's still thinking here of the most optimal play, so he has gone for that Afterburner play.
Mm.
And he'll also be able to get another search, so you probably search the Widow Anchor in the end phase
It's
of
good that-
Shizuku.
Poe did think about it for a while.
He made sure his play was correct,
Yes.
which is what you want. And with playing a deck like this, it's always good to take the right lines, and he's had a lot of experience.
In a high stakes game, yes.
He's not affecting the Afterburner. He's still thinking now. He's weighing up all of his options.
Looking at his banish pile, making sure, double checking everything is good.
So he's going to activate Area 0, which
Yes.
allows him to target any card on his field, reveal the top 3 cards of his deck. If it's a Sky Striker card, he can add it to his hand if he wants, and then send the other card to the graveyard.
He's doing it on his Kagari.
So he misses there.
The Kagari stays on the field.
I feel if he had have hit the Kagari, he was just going to Afterburner, then destroy the Area 0 anyway to get the Ray back.
Yeah.
Has he decided not to destroy a Spell and Trap then with Afterburner?
I believe so.
Might have another strategy we're not thinking of.
Good to see Poe taking it a bit slowly, making sure he's covered all his bases, that he hasn't missed anything. He doesn't missed anything through oversight.
So he's getting that Widow Anchor for next turn off the Shizuku search. So Frank will draw.
Beautiful ultimate rare Shizuku as well.
I've already got those. Recent from the OTS pack, Shizuku.
Yeah.
And is that also Ulti Kagari in graveyard?
Frank drew a Thunder Dragon, not what he wants to see. He gets to search another Thunder Dragon.
Putting 1 Colossus on the board, not the worst. And you can
Yeah.
pendulum 1 from the extra deck, so you can have Jackal King Colossus.
Yeah.
Because the extra zone from Shizuku, but here comes the Ash Blossom once again for Poe. Having both.
Let's see
Very,
what-
very powerful.
Oh, now let's see if Frank can adapt to the current situation. He's in a bit of a pickle, but
But harmonizing his extra deck unfortunately can't be pendulum summoned, so
yeah.
even though he has a free zone from the Shizuku being on the field, he can only pendulum summon the one monster because his extra deck isn't full of pendulum monsters yet. So Jackal King back on the field. Is it 2600 attack? Pretty sure. A lot of spells in the grave, so he's
There is.
losing a lot of attack from the Shizuku, and Frank just decides that it's not worth continuing and we'll go to game 2.
Yeah, he might need this time. Time might be relevant later on where like the match gets closer and he needs to focus on being able to play well without having time pressure on him, as we saw last match, where
Yes.
Daniel was playing against the clock as well, and he did really well.
Yeah. Very good under pressure. So we're going to look at the side decks now. So for Frank, we have 3 opposite Gamma, Impermanence, Dino Wrestler, Prank Tops, Red Reboot, Evenly Matched, and Hey Trunade. So Hey Trunade's definitely the powerful card against Sky Striker, especially after multi-roll has resolved.
But I do believe Frank will be choosing to go first, so he might just. I'm not sure what he would side.
Maybe nothing. Maybe Gamma just to be able to hit that Ash Blossom when he activates Thunder Dragon.
Yeah,
That happened twice in the
or
last
even
match.
on the spell. Was the spell the Pendulum Core? That's the one.
Yeah, so maybe Gamma might come in to protect himself from hand traps, as what happened that game. And then in Poe's side deck, what do we have there? We're going second.
Evenly matched. There can only be one. Unending Nightmare. They're all really powerful cards. You have Dino Wrestler, Pankatops, which we've seen in most side decks these today.
Would he side the mind controls just to either force effects or take monsters on awkward boards, or is it not worth
Ooh.
trying to force the negate with one card?
I feel like evenly matched just generates more value because you're able to clear just more than one monster. Either way, they'll probably get stopped by a Vortex or a Naruto, but evenly matched, if uninterrupted, will have more value than Mind Control. But I can see Mind Control coming in if he thinks that he needs more cards that will trigger these effects so that his other plays will go through. I can see Unending Nightmare for if he's able to play through turn 1, he can set it and then be able to stop any opposing plays. There can only be one stops them from having multiple magicians, so I can see that as well.
Yeah, spellcasters are pretty much what the whole deck is these days with Pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, because there can only be one is really powerful, mainly going first, even going second, like I said, you can clear the board. The only downside would be if Pendulum Call has resolved, you can't destroy the Magician Scales.
Yep.
But yeah, evenly matched definitely comes in. Maybe Mind Control if he decides that's an avenue he wants to take.
Yeah, these angles are really good. We can see their reactions. We can see they're talking to each other. We can see their hands sometimes.
Yeah.
Courteous handshake.
Poe going for the handshake before the game.
Oh, courtesy. Yes, I believe he is playing the normal Thunder Dragon just to pendulum them from hand and summon double Colossus. It's pretty neat strategy. We haven't seen that yet. Frank looks at his hand, thinks about it.
So he's looking really carefully, as Poe did last game, just to making sure he does the correct play here. So he's going to lead with Dragon Shrine, which is really powerful in this deck to send the Dark Worm. So the Dark Worm, when you control a monster, you can special summon itself, then search a Gate 0 from your deck. So free access to extra Pendulum Scale, and a pendulum monster in the field means you can try to access Electromite, the Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, to be able to open up some link zones before pendulum summoning and also trigger Electromite's other effects. And it is a limited card for a reason. Electromite, very powerful card in pendulum strategies over the last year.
Yeah, being able to summon that without using your normal summon is huge. It lets your play just become so much better than using your normal summon, which we know is the greatest resource in this game.
So Frank thinking again now, he's going to place a Pendulum Scale by the looks of it.
That's
the Master the Cerberus.
Yeah, that's the one, I believe. Master Cerberus.
Master Cerberus. So he gets to now summon 2 Pendulum monsters from the deck without normal summoning.
Yes.
Very ideal for Frank this time.
Using the effect of Master Cerberus to place the Jackal King in the scale, or is it hand?
I believe it goes to the scale and then or the hand, and then the Jackal King's effect will let him summon the Master Cerberus back from the extra deck face up by destroying itself.
Yeah, and like we said.
So he will now go for the link potentially. He's still thinking it through though. So correct decision here to make sure he does everything correctly. Looking at it, Poe with his hand face down suggests there may not be any response to this time.
Or maybe he's maintaining a really good poker face.
It's very true. Putting him in a false sense of security.
Yeah, not giving Frank any reads. There's Electromite without using your normal summon, getting
good. Electromite's on-field effect is on summon. He gets to place one into the extra deck, but the Ghost Ogre coming down really hurts now with one Electromite.
Poe just not hesitating at all. He knows what he has. He knows at what point he wants to use every hand trap. He knows this matchup very well. Reevaluating his hand, seeing what he can do now that his Ghost Ogre is gone, making sure he knows what he's getting himself into.
So we see Frank there placing the Harmonizing Magician into the extra deck. And with 4 cards left in hand, I don't believe he'll be able to establish another Link 2 before he Pendulum Summons now. So,
Electromite is at 1.
yes.
Yes. That is a conundrum for Frank. Previously, they'd be able to go into a second Electromite and continue playing from there. Frank just debating on what he wants to do now.
Alright. Really wants to make sure from this point, once one of your main plays has been interrupted, that he makes the most optimal play from here to give himself the best chance at staying in the game.
Especially being down game 1 as well. He wants to be able to make sure he doesn't throw this one away because he needs to be able to play a game 3 to be able to win the match.
Really thinking it over now. Poe with now 4 cards in hand, potentially more hand traps, I'm not sure. So he's going to place the
Time Gazer.
Time Gazer back in the scale, and also, is that an Oath Dragon?
Yeah, that is.
So he may add back this Wisdom Eye,
The
the
Harmonizing.
Harmonizing Magician now.
Because it can't be Pendulum Summon from the extra deck.
So obviously he was weighing it up correctly there.
Just precision plays against the clock, against the nerves. I believe that's a Curtain Raiser in his hand as well, isn't it?
I believe the reason he didn't special the Curtain Raiser is because you can't put Time Gazer into the scale if you control a monster, but he could also put it down first, then put the Curtain Raiser and summoned it. So interesting choice there.
It's good to see that he has more ways to play without using his normal summon, which I believe he still hasn't used yet.
Very true. So he's again thinking it over.
Follow the game plan, Frank.
Is Time Gazer just going to 8 scale as well?
I believe so. If the gate is 0, yeah, should be the high scale.
So really thinking about it here, Frank, making sure that he optimizes his best chance here. So he's got the Harmonizing in hand and a gate 0. So does he play the level 7 Pendulum monster, the Magician?
The Shanky Magician? Yes, he does.
So this is, he could potentially go for a rank 7 play, which leads him into the Absolute Dragon.
Oh, he's Pendulum Summoning 3 cards. Or
everything, and Harmonizing effect. So Poe's letting the play go through, but also just reading up on a card they may not be super familiar with, the Curtain Raiser.
Let's go through Frank's extra deck to see his options. He's got Electromite.
He has gone for the Janky Magician.
Oh, he does. He's got Unicorn, he's got Borolo, Borosword, Metaltron, 2 Colossus, Vortex, Norito, Castell, Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, Absolute Dragon, the Dawn Dragster, and a Black Rose Moonlight Dragon.
So looking at that, what other Link 2s does he have access to that could open up some zones here for him?
I noticed he doesn't play the Wee Witch Apprentice that I've seen some Pendulums play
also
before.
Underclock Taker as well has been popular in some Pendulum decks.
He can make the Metaltron because that Jackal King was summoned from the extra deck, right?
I believe it requires all extra deck monsters.
Is it?
If I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure on the wording.
I would bring it up in a second.
You could make a big Link monster here, but wasting some resources may not be ideal.
Yes, Metaltron requires all monsters to be special summoned from the extra deck.
So unfortunately, he won't be able to resolve that one the way he might have liked.
Perhaps he can make Unicorn and play from there. Maybe this was an oversight.
What other? So his Link 4s are
Borrowlord, Borrowsword, and the Nightmare Unicorn.
They're also very difficult to make with the if he had another Link 2 here, he'd be able to make, say, for Wee Witch Apprentice, he could do that. He's instead of just started the wall up and let Poe try to play through.
Poe has a hand of many spells from what I saw. He starts with the Reinforcement of the Army to bring out Ray from his deck.
Once again, with the limited card, Reinforcement of the Army, gives the Jackal King 2 counters, so he'll be able to negate monster effects once again. So Poe will be really looking at this and weighing up his best chance to clear most of the board.
I believe Poe spent a lot of time in his opponent's turn deciding what he was going to play on his turn so that he saves a bunch of time. He's used Mind Control
So the
on
Mind
Jackal
Control
King.
did come in. Taking the Jackal King is absolutely insane.
Yeah, because now he's the one that can stop monster effects. Comes at Area 0.
So they're quickly reading up here. It will gain counters from the Mind Control. But they're probably just making sure. Yep. So Area 0 may just send it. Yep. So he's going to see what he can hit. He's
a Ray.
At least it's resolving.
In the Area 0 and a multi-roll. He got the multi-roll.
Really good for Poe that he's got the multi-roll.
Takes it without hesitation. He knows what he wants.
Jackal King is just delicately pushed back to Frank's side of the field so he can deal with it. And Poe summons the Ray and now free to use monster effects as the Jackal King is off the field. May look to go to the battle phase and attack with Ray and then use its effect during the battle phase.
Yes, he's attacking the Shanky Magician.
Which has low defense, even though it has quite high attack. It is now banished because of the effect of a Harmonizing Magician that summoned it out to the field.
Ray summoning Hayate using its effect in the battle phase. Hayate being able to attack directly, then send a Sky Striker card from the deck to the
He may
graveyard.
just destroy another monster.
Oh, he does destroy it. He
And-
feels that the incremental advantage is more important than the life points.
We have now engaged, getting access once again through the Hayate.
Poe identifying that there's 20 minutes left on the clock. He's got plenty of time. He doesn't need the life point damage from Hayate. He would rather get rid of the harmonizing.
And I think I saw a Twin Twisters. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is two Twin Twisters.
You get the head shake from Frank.
So Poe is looking very good. Engage, multi-roll,
With
everything going through. Frank with no hand. Not looking ideal.
Four spells in the graveyard, not counting engage.
He's gone for that afterburner to clear even more cards. Frank
And
just concedes, and very well played by Mr. Poe Jiang, Oceanic Champion of 2018.
We can see that he's very comfortable playing his deck. He knows what he wants to do at every stage in the game. Now I guess they're discussing the post-match and what they could have done.
So unfortunately, Frank wasn't able to play through the hand traps as well as normal decks do, and that's the one downside of playing a deck like Pendulum that's not as versed as the main decks in the format. It's kind of a rogue deck. It loses to hand traps like that, unfortunately, sometimes with the limited Electromite not going through. Even the Ashes, both Ashes, game one was just...
But if Frank has played this deck for a while, I believe he will be comfortable playing it for the rest of the match.
So this is round 3, so both players were 2-0 coming into the round, I'm 90% sure.
Yeah.
So Frank's still 2-1, still a good record, he can go from here. And being a former national champion, he can definitely reassess from here and just keep playing through.
Yeah, of course, definitely. We will have Poe over for a post-match interview soon when he's done packing up his cards.
Just a bit of friendly conversation probably going on between the two, both very experienced and high-level players.
So what do you think about Sky Striker?
I think somehow after the ban list, Striker just managed to lose a lot of good matchups. And like in this format right now, there's no like favored deck, I don't think, like I said before.
Yeah.
I think they're very consistent, so they always play like through a lot of things, and they can do a lot of things. And as we saw there, like Sky Striker predominantly wants to go first, even though there are going second builds. And both times Poe was easily able to go second and still make the best of it because the access from Hayate giving to engage and just playing through there and getting more spells engraved so the engage resolves for the full effect. And it's just very versatile, so it always is up there for top cuts.
I feel like Sky Striker is like a Swiss Army knife. It can feasibly just beat everything. It's got like you can play Heavy Storm Dusters and spell and trap removal to beat the mirror match, to beat Altergas. You got Impermanence and Gamma if you want to play against combo centric decks. So we have
just like a big toolkit basically. So we have Poe Jiang coming over now for a quick post match interview, and then from there we'll be waiting for round 4.
Yeah, definitely.
So back here at YCS Sydney 2019, we have our feature match winner for round 3, Mr. Poe Jiang. How was that? Is
Oh, it's pretty good.
that your first time being on feature match, or have you played before?
One for last YCS and then also one for Worlds. So
Very good. So yeah, as you mentioned, you went to Worlds last year after winning Oceanic Championships. Was that a really good experience for you
yeah, it
for
was
the
a good
first
time.
time?
Yeah, it was a good time.
What deck did you play over there?
I played Trickstar Sky Striker.
The deck that you topped with
Yeah.
and won with. Yeah. So with that match there against Pendulum, are you very experienced versing Pendulum with Sky Striker, or is it a bit of a...
A little bit, but like it's more that he was my friend and I knew like his deck, so that's why I asked the
Yeah, I was about to say,
Thunder
I
Dragon.
noticed you asked the Thunder Dragon, and normally that's not the play against
Yeah.
Thunder, so I had a feeling you might have had some previous information about the deck.
Yeah, I
That's
definitely knew.
still good. So we're looking at your Sky Striker deck here. You obviously played the deck for quite a while now,
Yeah,
since the ban list and everything that happened. Anything interesting that came up recently that you made a change to, or is this pretty much standard what you've been playing for the last few months?
I started playing evenly yesterday.
Yep.
But besides that, it's pretty standard. But a lot of hand traps. More
Yeah.
scared of combo decks. I'm quite confident in the mirror, so I didn't really want to build towards the mirror. I wanted to build more towards not losing to random rogue stuff.
Yeah. And obviously at a big event like a YCS, you're more likely to see a lot of
Yeah,
different rogue
yeah,
stuff
for
as well, compared to like a Nationals where you can be more focused on one
yeah,
deck.
yeah.
So how was your travel? You live around the area, don't you? So you didn't
Yeah.
travel very far?
I basically came back from Japan like yesterday.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, I just slept a bit. And
Just
then,
for a holiday?
Yeah, for a holiday.
Yeah, it's
And
very
then-
good. So
yeah.
how do you feel about the event? What deck do you think will look to go the furthest? Do you think Sky Striker is the best choice for the deck, or just the best choice for you? Or
I think it's like a high skill cap deck, so if you're very comfortable with it, I think you'll do very well because it's very consistent.
yeah,
Over like a high power but less consistent deck.
yeah. Like I was mentioning just then that it's basically like a Swiss Army knife. Like you can
Yeah.
literally just have all the options and can beat literally any deck if you want to, because it's
Yeah.
got tools to like have like Widow Anchor to take anything and
Yeah, definitely.
Eagle Boost to protect, Afterburner
Yeah,
for
shark cannon,
monsters.
all that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
So yeah, very well done. So what matchups are you more worried about going forward from here? So you're obviously 3-0. So you've started the YCS really well.
One draw. We're
Oh, you
both-
have one
yeah,
draw.
yeah,
Okay,
one
so okay.
I drew
Yeah,
against
we'll miss it
Noble
from-
Knights. Yeah.
Oh, against Noble Knights. What was that like?
Just a bunch of reading, to be honest.
Just a matchup you weren't comfortable with, so you just didn't know? Or?
Yeah, I knew a little bit, but not too well.
Yeah,
I had
that's
to
all
read
right.
a lot.
Still undefeated though,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
looking forward to it. So that's a random question. With the 3v3s coming up with Atlanta,
Yeah.
if you were to pick two partners to go with you to an event like that, and they had to be from a Yu-Gi-Oh anime, who would they be and why?
I don't know. Probably Jaden from GX.
Yep.
And maybe Kaiba, I guess.
No? What
Yeah.
were the reasons for those picks? Did you like them,
I
or
like
was it
GX.
strategy?
Yeah,
or?
I love GX. GX
Yeah,
is
of
just like
course.
full hype. And then Kaiba, he's got a lot of cards, so we can build pretty much
Just
whatever
rich, so
deck.
you can just have
Yep.
everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, that's probably it for now. So congratulations again for round 3.
Alright, no
well
worries.
done. And hopefully we
Yeah.
see you a bit later on the
Sure.
event. So good luck with that. And we'll be coming up with another interview soon, hopefully. If not, we'll see you in round 4.
Thank you.